welcome to another video. So I wanted to make this video a little bit different. I wanted to do a little get ready with me makeup and chit chat, a little chisme, because I have been away. It's been about a month since I uploaded my last video, so I kind of wanted to talk about what's been going on in my life since then and what I've been up to and just all of that, just to catch up a little bit. And I thought it would be a good idea to do that by doing my makeup, so you guys can see my process and how I go about doing it, and that way you guys can catch up with me as well. So let's get started. Okay, so first I'm gonna tie my hair back with some clips because I just finished doing my hair, so I don't want to get it dirty with makeup or anything like that. Let's see, let's put this one here like that. Okay, and then I washed my face, did my makeup or my skincare routine, and now I'm gonna go in with some primer. I just got this one. I've been seeing it all over TikTok and everything, that everybody says it's good, so let's try it. It's the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So I'm just gonna put some on my face. So yeah, like I was saying, I've been away for about a month since my last upload. So basically the whole month of June. We can say that the month of June was crazy for me. It had a lot of ups and downs, but I'm in a better place now, so I figured now is the time to get back to recording, get back into that routine. Next, I'm gonna go in with my eyebrows. I'm using the Morphe Dip Brow and a eyebrow pencil brush. So yeah, like I was saying, the month of June has been crazy. So the month of June, on the 2nd, is my niece's birthday, so I had to go gift shopping for her. And then we had a little get together with my brother and my family to celebrate her birthday. And then on the 3rd is my best friend's birthday. So of course, again, gift shopping, and her family did a surprise carne asada for her. So we were invited and we got to celebrate her birthday a little bit as well, spend some time with her. And then, so yeah, right off the bat, it's a busy month. And then, what else? Like I had mentioned before, I do suffer from depression. And like I said, I want to be completely honest with you guys and upfront, because it's a subject that people don't really talk about, and they shy away from it, and they kind of cover it up, pretend like it doesn't happen, especially in the Hispanic Latino community, which I'm a part of. So I want to, bring some light to that subject and kind of change that stigma, especially for us Latinos. So around, I believe it was the 6th, I am taking medication for the depression, but I was taking a lower dose. So what I think was happening was that I think my body started getting used to that dose. So it wasn't working as well for me anymore. So I believe it was the 6th, towards the end of the night, I, started to get more depressed, a little bit more sad, just not acting like my normal self. And my husband was there, luckily he was able to kind of comfort me and help me as much as he could. Obviously, sometimes in those moments, you don't know what to say to somebody, or you don't know how you could help somebody. And that's completely normal. I think that's something that everybody, that has family members that suffer from depression, that's something that everybody goes through. But what matters is that you try to help them and that you are there for them. So after that, I was fine, I went to bed. And then the next morning, I woke up better. I was still a little bit sad. So my husband took the day off from work and we did a little bit of shopping. We hung out together. We had lunch together. And it was good. It was great. So when we got home around 5-ish, we laid down in the couch to, relax and watch some movies. But then that's when I felt my mood started to decrease and get more depressed. So that's when I would just be randomly crying for no reason. And so my husband did the best he could, and he notified my family that I wasn't feeling good, and I had my phone all day on do not disturb because I just didn't feel like being social or communicating with anybody. So my mom had tried to call me, my sister had tried to call me, they had tried to reach out to me, but I had it on do not disturb. And so they thought that was a little bit weird because normally, they can reach me whenever. So I guess they had been texting my husband just to see how I was doing because, like I said, I always answer my phone, especially for them. But yeah, towards the end of the night, I started to get even more depressed, more sad. And I just didn't feel like talking to anybody. I just want to be alone, and it is a little bit concerning, especially to my husband, because I'm usually very social, very talkative, especially with people that I know, and especially with him. So when I wasn't telling him what I was feeling, just closed off, put my wall up, that's when he started to get more concerned. And so he had my sister come over to see if maybe she could talk to me, and then my mom came over as well. And later on, my niece came over, my older niece, and my best friend ended up coming over as well. I was unfortunately not in a good space, so I wasn't talking to them. But, they were doing the best they could, praying over me and trying to get me the comfort and just letting me know that they were there for me. Which sometimes that's all we can do in those situations. And so yeah, the next day I had agreed that I would go to my psychiatrist and get some help, some professional help. But unfortunately, when I woke up, I was not back to my normal self. I was still in that depressive state, still dealing with the depressive episode. So I changed my mind and I didn't want to go anymore. So I ended up, my best friend ended up calling the ambulance, and I had to be taken to the hospital. I got Baker acted, and I ended up going to a mental facility, and I had to do a 72-hour hold there, so I was there for about 3 days. Just to get some help, just to talk to their psychiatrist. They ended up changing my medication to a 20 milligram dose, so they did increase it, and that has been helping, I feel like. So I'm back to my normal self, I think. Well, as normal as I can be. So that has helped a lot, and I do see a change, although sometimes I do wake up tired. That's also part of the side effects of the medication and just my body trying to get used to it. So yeah, after the 72-hour hold, my sister picked me up from the psychiatric clinic, and we picked up some lunch and went to have lunch with my nieces and nephews and my husband, and spent some time together as a family. And then my husband and I went back home, and then I had been texting my best friend, letting her know that I was back home, and she asked if she could go see me at my house, so I said of course. I always tell her, you don't need an invitation, you could just show up randomly, and I wouldn't care. But of course she always asks. But so she asked if she could come over, and I said yes. So she came over. She was so sweet and brought me flowers. And we were just chit-chatting for a little bit, and then I wanted ice cream, but of course I have ice cream in my fridge, but you know, I want different ice cream. So there's a ice cream shop about 15 minutes from my house. So we decided to all go to the ice cream shop, my husband, me, and my best friend. And on our way back, we were literally about 5 minutes from my house. And some guy ran a stoplight, or sorry, a stop sign, and he pretty much crashed into us. So I was in the front passenger seat, my husband was driving, and my best friend was in the back seat behind my husband. So we were down a road that just goes straight, you know, we don't have a stop sign or anything like that. Just the guy did. And he said he came up to the stop sign and didn't see us. He thought we were farther away. So he thought he had enough time to make it across the street. So, you know, he went, took the drive, and he pretty much hit us on the front passenger's tire panel. So basically, yeah, on my side, like where the tire is, that's where he hit us. But luckily my husband was able to stop, and otherwise he would have like hit me right at my door. So he was able to stop, and so he didn't hit me directly. Looking back though, I feel like the whole thing happened in slow motion, because I remember I was telling, like, up until that point we were talking, you know, just having a normal conversation with my best friend in the back and my husband, you know, and me. But I remember looking to the right, outside my window, and I see the car, and it looks like it's coming pretty fast, and I tell my husband, I don't think that car's gonna stop. He doesn't look like he's gonna stop. And so my husband looks, and sure enough, he looks like he's going way too fast. And then that's when my husband slams the brakes, and right before the car made impact with us, I screamed. And so when my husband slammed on the brakes, my friends kind of went forward, so she did manage to get a couple of cuts on her lip and the inside of her lip. So she did get a little bit bruised up from it, and some cuts. And so I got some bruises on my arm, my lower arm. I've got a little cut right here. Yeah, so now it's a little scar, but it was a little cut. And then my husband did get a little bruised up as well. He hurt his hands a little bit from holding on to the steering wheel. But luckily we all made it out okay. So then our Apple Watches actually detected the car crash, and they started calling the fire or police department and everything. So we were able to get help right away. I think it took like about 5 minutes or less for the police to get out to the scene. And whatever passersby they would always ask if we needed help or anything. But we would tell them like, no, help is on the way. And yeah, we got in contact with my brother-in-law and my niece, and they were able to come pick us up from the scene. And the police stayed with my car because it was all banged up. They had to cut the battery from it because they were afraid that it could blow up because of the impact. So it wasn't movable at that point because it had no more battery. Oh, I realized I forgot to put some concealer on, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some on. So yeah, so my brother-in-law and niece picked us up, and they took us to my house, and then my best friend's parents ended up picking her up at my house as well. And yeah, so that night, you know, we did feel a little bit bruised up, and the paramedics had looked us over, but they said that we were okay. No major concerns, but they did say, you know, if we needed to, we could always go to a urgent care or ER to get looked over. So then the next day, I was telling my husband I was not feeling well, like my muscles hurt, my whole body hurt. So he was feeling the same as well. So we decided to go to the emergency room to get checked out, where they did they did x-rays, CT scans on me. They gave me muscle relaxers, muscle and relaxing injection, as well as my husband, and then he got x-rays as well. But luckily everything turned back fine. And then my friend also went to an urgent clinic, and they bandaged up her cut that she got on her lip. And, you know, she said that everything was okay with her as well. But then also that morning, the next day after the car accident, I was notified because I went to pick up my husband so that morning I went to pick up the rental car that my insurance was gonna lend me, and then I went to pick up my husband where he was working, or where he was at, and he had been helping my uncle with some stuff at his house, so I went over to my uncle's house to pick him up so we could go together to the emergency room. While on my way there, my husband tells me that the ambulance is at my uncle's house because my grandfather had suffered a stroke, so that they were there to take him to the hospital. So that's another thing on top of all these other things that have been happening. So when I get there, the ambulance is still there, but they already had my grandpa up on the ambulance. So they stayed a little bit. I guess they were trying to stabilize him before they started driving. And then once they were gone, my husband cleaned up his things, and we got some lunch because I had not eaten. We had both not eaten all day. So we got some lunch really quick, and then we went to meet my grandpa at the hospital. Yeah, so we got there. They were doing some tests on him, but luckily he was back to his normal self. So they did say they wanted to keep him overnight though, just to monitor him and make sure that the stroke doesn't happen again. So they did a couple of x-rays and MRIs, CT scans, all of that, blood work, just to make sure that everything was going to be okay. And then my uncle got there later on, And so we traded spots with him, and he went in to see my grandfather, and my husband and I went to get checked out at the emergency room. So yeah, after that we were there pretty much all day getting checked out. Now I'm gonna set my face. I'm just doing a very simple clean makeup look. This is like my daily makeup routine basically. Nothing too fancy, just something quick, simple. So yeah, we were there pretty much all day getting x-rayed, getting all of our treatment done. But everything turned out fine. Like I said, we were good. We just got some medication for the pain and all that. So after that, you know, we went home, relaxed, got some rest because we were still very tired and just sore from the crash. And, you know, I started doing the process with the insurance and all of that. So it does take a couple of days for the insurance to get the police report. So my insurance started taking care of everything, and they said once they do have the police report information that they could get together with the other guy's car insurance and figure it out. So yeah, and then I did have to go ahead and get a new car because my car ended up being totaled. Luckily they did cover pretty much, they gave me what it was worth, which was pretty much the same amount as what I owed, so that was good. And then I also had gap insurance, which the gap insurance took care of the deductible. So luckily I don't owe anything on that car. Oh, I need to set my face. That's what I was forgetting. I like to spray my face and then I press it down with a puff. I just love that setting spray. It's the Morphe spray and it's the coconut one. It smells so good, so refreshing. But anyways, yeah, like I was saying, so pretty much my car was totaled. I have to get a new one, but my car is basically paid off now. So I don't owe anything on that one anymore. So I guess that's the fun part, is having to go car shopping. I did have a couple of cars in mind that I wanted and that I wanted to look at, and I did go to a couple of car dealerships and take a look at a few, test drive a few, but I wasn't satisfied with them. So I said, well, let me go back to the dealership where I got my first car and see what they have, what kind of deals they can offer me. So I did, and I had a car that I was looking at from there. So I test drove a couple of others just in case, and ultimately I fell in love with one of the cars. Yeah, so I fell in love with one of the cars. It was a EV9, and they had it in a beautiful matte color. So I was like, that one, that's the one. I have to have it. And it was in the showroom, so they're like, okay, well, let's figure out how to get the car out of here, because it was surrounded by other cars. So they struggled having to move the other cars around just to get the one I wanted out. But ultimately, I had gone back to the same guy that had sold me the other car too, because he already knows how I am. He knows that I am picky and I want all the features and everything, so he is very patient with me. And he did it again. He managed to get me the car of my dreams. And so I am happy now. So it may feel like sometimes bad things happen, one thing after another, but ultimately when one door closes, another one opens. Something good is always gonna come after all the bad things. like how they say that there's always a rainbow after the storm. Like, I believe that's the case as well, because also since we did get injured during the car crash, my car insurance had already covered everything, right? But then their car insurance, the other party's car insurance, got a hold of us and told us that we would be getting financial help because of the injuries that we suffered. So my husband and my best friend and I all got to $2,000 because of the crash, which, you know, it may not seem like a lot, especially with everything that we've gone through, especially like all the trauma and everything that comes with a car crash, but it's better than nothing, you know what I mean? And at that point, it's also a blessing because all the expenses and everything that we've had to go through as well because of the car crash. So it's not easy, but it does help a little bit. So the lipstick that I put on, it's one of my brand's lipsticks, and this is called Peaches and Cream. It's a nude liquid lipstick, it's like a nudish pinkish liquid lipstick, and it's matte and fast drying. And this is my personal one, that's why it's like all messed up and dirty. So yeah, the rest of the month of June was just spent dealing with the car crash things, paperwork, documents, all of that. And then my other sister that lives in Colorado also came over to visit. So she stayed with me, spent some time with me, and we ended up going to Disney with my sisters and my niece. So it was a good time. We got to spend some quality family time together, and just a reminder that, you know, family is all we have sometimes, and that we can always lean on each other for anything. So yeah, it wasn't all bad, but I was just busy and, you know, for one thing after another, so I kind of put off YouTube a little bit. So yeah, this is the final look. I hope you guys liked it. Just something very simple, very casual, day-to-day kind of makeup. And yeah, it was nice to catch up with you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.